The Journey to a New World. Juan was a 17 years old boy who loved to read, especially adventure books. For several months, he had reading about a trip that several authors relate that it was a trip to a mysterious island. But no one had been able to visit it and come back alive to tell about it. So all that was known were suppositions. But he wanted to confirm everything, so he would undertake a trip to this place. But his mother did not agree because she knew it was very risky. Juan did not have a good relationship with his stepfather, but he was a military, so he would be of great help for this adventure, and it was the only way his mother would allow it. So they began the work of discovering how to get to the island. So through all the maps offered by all the authors in his books, they were able to get the complete map. So they had to travel by boat, as it was located at coordinates that no one had ever reached, and called the cemetery of the ships. When they arrived to Palau, which was the place where they would take the boat, since it was the closest place to those coordinates, they arrived trying to hire a boat. However, that was impossible, since nobody wanted to go there, since it was very dangerous, even though they offered a great amount of money, until a man who had a helicopter accepted. They would be four people in the helicopter: Juan, his stepfather Fred, the pilot named Luis, and his daughter Anna. They began to fly towards the coordinates, and as they closer, the water and the sea got worse and worse. So it became more dangerous to the point where there was a tornado and made Luis lose the control in front of the helicopter, and this tornado pulled them into it. They all lost conscious of what happening, but when they woke up, they were on coast of a beach. Many of the things they were carrying were no longer of any use because had gotten wet or damaged. They start to go deeper into the island, and as they walk further and further, they found stranger and stranger things. Because on these islands, all the things were totally different, as the sizes of the animals were reversed, so a spider would be the size of an elephant, and vice versa. After walking a long way, they met a man who had been living there for about 8 years and knew the risk, so he could not leave them alone and invite them to his house. Everything was made by nature. The next day, they began to give them a tour of the island, showing them everything that exists, such as the Gold Canyon and even road bees. He was also able to show them the ruins of the ancestors and understand a little of what they were like. However, Fred at the moment realized that the island was about to sink, since by his knowledge as a military man, he knew that the water came from the sea, and even though he told them, they did not believe him at all. That night they stayed camping, and when they woke up the next day, they realized that the water level had doubled. So they had to about a day left for the islands to sink. They had to start acting fast to find a way to get off the island quickly, but it was very difficult because they did not have the tools. They started building a boat and collecting food since it would be a long journey. By the time they finished the boat, they all got in it and started rowing and trying to conserve a lot of food since they didn't know how long it would be take. After about 2 weeks, they reached land where they received help and food, as they were a bit dehydrated and were able to return home healthy. End.